What's up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name's Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. Today, I am coming at you with a WIP and chat. WIP stands for Work in Progress. Let's get to it. Okay, so welcome to my WIP and chat. If you are new, welcome. If you are coming back to see me, welcome back. For those who are not clear on what a WIP and chat is, I'll be working on this piece and talking with you for about an hour, roughly. I start out talking about, my life, the channel, things that are going on with each, and then in the second half, I tend to talk about mental health struggles, and then I use my handy tarot cards, and we pick a thought for the week. I'll just get right into it. Tools that I am using. First, I have this pen from C'est Plus Beau Tour. They are a French company. You can find them on Etsy. This was actually a gift that was sent to me by Wallflower, and I am really, really happy with it. It's a nice chunky pen, and I'm a hard placer. I like a chunky pen, and I like putty, right? In my putty end here, I am using the Butterfly Effectwares Emerald Dot Dot Putty. I've only got a little bit left. Look at it. It's just a little bitty thing that I've got left to work with. And then in my single placer, I am using what is called Ghost from Diamond Painting Daily. I'll show you what their little symbol looks like. You can find Diamond Painting Daily on Etsy if you're looking for that symbol right there. That's what you're going to want to watch for. And Ghost is like if you have a glue dot, it makes a glue dot for you. Like it starts out liquid and then it solidifies. And then I am using my tray from Firefly. This thing has a lid. Slide a lid on it really quick for you. A slide-on lid. It's from Firefly. This is called the Switch Mini Max. I love this thing. I tend to use the same stuff over and over again. It's got a nice deep tray. It has a removable trash tray, which I have removed right now. I usually keep this off to the side. And then it has an open and close pour spout. And then this little hole right here is so you can put your pen into it, so your pen doesn't roll away. Now, I am closer than I normally would be, and there's a particular reason for it. I am working on a piece, which I will get into in just a moment because it has to do with one of my announcements, but I don't want you to see what I have worked on so far because I'm trying to save that for the post review of this product. You've probably already seen unboxing for it, and so I kind of want to leave it there with that little first row on it. But it is from Captured by Radiance, and I'll get into more about that in just a bit, but I wanted to keep it in tight because I didn't want to give away all the other work that I have done because I'm really cooking my way through this canvas, and I will have a post review up for this sucker in no time. So I just wanted to kind of go with what I have here, not give too much away. I want to keep working on it because I could have picked a different canvas for the WIP and chat, but I didn't want to. I want to keep plugging away at it. So one thing that you can probably see as I'm going along, this grid is nice and tight. No complaints about the grid. It is actually very, very nice. I'm really, really impressed with the canvas that Captured by Radiance is selling for their new release kits. So anyways, actually, I guess I might as well just get right into what I plan to announce. I'm going to be working with Captured by Radiance. As far as I know, I'm going to show off some new releases for them, and I'm super excited about that. I'm not sure who else is going to be showing stuff off for Captured by Radiance, but honestly, I am really impressed with their canvases. And while right now there's not a lot of artists on their site, they have signed and licensed some new artists, and they will have new pieces coming out very soon. Their pieces are hand rendered, and so it takes time to hand render things. And so the owner, Deborah, she's got to put some work in to get the hand renderings done so that she can, you know, put out some new canvases for you guys to look at. But I am already impressed with what they have out. Yeah, there's AI in there, but you can tell that the AI is done in such a way that the artist actually like looks at what's there. They're not just accepting whatever kind of like garbage that the render comes up with for them. It's really thought out. It's looked over, and I do massively appreciate that. The piece that I'm working on is from Rose Prophet, and she's just gorgeous. If you can see the colors, you can probably pick out which one that I'm doing if you look on the website. But right now, Captured by Radiance is doing a 40% off sale for their fall sale on everything in the store except for their custom hand-turned pens. You should really go check them out, because the one that I'm working on right now with a discount brings it down to like $35, and it's a 50 by 71. I mean, it is a absolutely stunner of a piece. So go and check them out and watch this space for further information on Captured by Radiance as I look forward to working some more with them. But other than that, you guys, like, weeks bleed together, they blend together. I just kind of keep on trucking. I've been working on a lot of material, a lot of videos, and getting those up. And so, you know, that's kind of where my focus has been as far as the channel goes. And then side work, I've been preparing all of the blanks so that I can take them all over to my in-laws and get them all done. It's so hard because I only have four it's like a mold that only has 4 sections in it. So I'm doing it in stages, and it slows me down. Once I have some more money again, I need to get another mold, because it's slowing me up. I can't get anything done in a timely fashion, and it's driving me nuts. So that said, for pen making, other thing I wanted to show you, I found something that I thought was really cool. Dustin is always looking for one of these. Whenever we go to the beach, whenever we go rock hounding, he's always looking for one of these. And the fact that I found one is really, really cool. What I have is called a hagstone. Now you can see this stone has a hole in it. Now these are also called adder stones. It's a stone with a naturally occurring hole in it, and people have long believed that hag stones have magical properties. That is like the ability to heal snake bites and to see through a witch's or a fairy's disguise by looking through the hole. And that if you look through the hole, you can see things that you would not normally be able to see. So like just look through the hole, and can you see anything in there? You see any magic in there? But it's very, very cool, and I found it on the ground. I mean, it just has this perfect hole in it that goes all the way through. And so, yeah, I stuck this baby in my pocket, and I was like, oh my God, I found one. I showed him. I mean, like, even right there, you can see there's a hole. There's just, yeah, it's just really cool. Really, really cool. But it's called a hagstone. And I'm hoping that it prophesies a good year where I can see through problems and find my way to an exit or a resolution. At least that's my hope, right? And then as far as family goes, Aurora's doing well in her 5th year. In college, she's, finishing up studying before she goes out and enters the workforce. I believe she's going to try and start out as a daycare teacher and then maybe eventually move into actual teaching, because I think she wants to do music teaching. So I'm looking forward to see how that goes, how she decides to follow that path, because her music teachers and even my music teachers throughout my life have been very affecting on me, and I think that she wants to be able to have that same kind of impression on kids, because she's just great with kids of literally all ages. I mean, she can relate to just about anybody. Kids love her. She's a lot of fun. She's just very accepting and loving, and it'll be a good fit for her. As for Orion and his significant other, found, well, as far as we know, he's doing the preliminary hire processes for a job, which I'm very excited about for him. It also will help kind of change our financial situation here a little bit, which I'm looking forward to. Taking some stress off of Dustin, taking some stress off of the house, making sure that there's always food and, the things. Because, while it has been a struggle, we haven't been like starving. If that was the case, then I would do whatever I had to do to go out and find a different job and not try to do the pens and to not try to do the YouTube. But we're not at that point. It's just we're not maybe as comfortable as we've been in the past when I was working full time. But I really needed a break this year for self-care and for my mental health, because I was working like a dog at my last job, and so even just having a year off has made a massive, wild difference in what I've been able to accomplish for my mental health. And then, of course, going to therapy is huge, making sure that I take care of that end of it. And then by proxy, I feel like talking on here has made a huge difference as well. It's almost like, I'm doing these whipping chats, but it's almost like talk therapy for me. Like I'm talking through my own stuff. I'm talking out my own problems, and by essence, I hopefully am helping some of you. And if not, I would be surprised, but if not helping any of you, I know it's doing me good to be able to focus and talk and really kind of assess and reassess what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and, you know, making decisions for myself. And it really has been good for me. You know, a lot has come up lately, stress, a lot of stress, and without getting too far into the realm of opinion, okay, I am very much an empath when it comes to like human suffering, human hardship, just human anxiety. And, you know, I've found that in times like now, where we have a very important election that's coming up, again, not going to talk about opinions in that realm and whatever. I'm not even going to go into it, but there's a lot of stress for people and myself around the elections, and there's a lot of stress around, you know, the behavior and what's the word I'm looking for? The way that a pursuant president carries themselves and behaves themselves. Conduct. There we go. The conduct of a future president and things of that nature. Like, you hear a lot about a lot of things, and it can be a lot of noise. And I have found that some of that, I'm just trying to bring some of the, well, it's for whatever reason, it just doesn't want to focus down on here, and I'm sorry. It's because I'm so close. Like I said, I don't want to give anything away. I can maybe try and move it back. But I always get very anxious in like election periods because everybody around me is anxious. And then there's a lot of misinformation that gets spread around by both parties, for both parties. I mean, it's everywhere. And so I've been really anxious lately, just trying to quiet my mind from all of that. And then, you know, you add to it this sense of like FOMO that I've had, especially when I'm not earning a paycheck of my own right now, and I can't just afford to throw down money. And, you know, then you try to combat those feelings with, like, you argue with yourself essentially, like, there will be restocks, things will, you know, you gotta just wait, things will be different when yada yada yada, just wait for a restock. And then things get discontinued, and it just lends to this feeling of anxiety. And, you know, I'm struggling. I'm struggling, and I get really grumpy very quickly, and that's just not like me. So I've been really trying to pay closer attention to the differences between self-care and indulgence, okay? And I really wanted to talk about that, right? Like what the difference is between self-care and indulgence, and just why self-care is essential, right? So sorry, I gotta pick my next color. Let's go with something out here so you can actually see my hand. So self-care. Self-care, a lot of times by people, is often seen as a luxury and not a necessity. That's unfortunate because oftentimes we can curb and curtail a lot of our stresses, a lot of our anxieties, if we just spent a little more time on self-care, right? It's just something we treat ourselves to when life gets really overwhelming, but it's essential, like I said, to our emotional and mental well-being. And it involves taking very intentional action to preserve or improve our mental health. And I want to talk about how it differs from indulgence and like some practical ways that you can incorporate it into your life and into my life. Self-care is all about fostering like a long-term well-being. It's not something that you're just thinking about today. It's something you're doing for yourself for the long term. Excuse me. For example, like you want to build and support stability and growth and balance, and it's a deliberate act of kindness toward yourself that helps prevent burnout and maintaining your energy levels. It's very deliberate is a good word. Deliberate. Indulgence, on the other hand, as opposed to, come on, this diamond just doesn't want to come out of here. Indulgence, on the other hand, is usually offers like short-term pleasure, but might not contribute to long-term well-being. Like it works in the moment, but it's not doing anything for your long-term self-growth or stability. Like binge watching TV or overeating or buying a canvas, right? When maybe you don't have a lot of money. It, in the short term, like it can feel really good in the moment, but it doesn't contribute to like true rest or true happiness over time. I mean, yeah, a canvas can make you happy over time when you're working on it, whatever, but that loss of money that you didn't have to spend is definitely not going to feel good in the long run when you've got to eat food and you have no money, whatever. And while indulgence isn't inherently bad, please don't take it as I'm saying that indulgence is bad, because you work for your money, or you do what you do to earn what you have. And so you should be able to indulge a little and spend your money that you worked hard for. Please don't take it as I'm saying indulgence is a bad thing. It isn't always. It's just not the same thing as self-care. That's the point I'm trying to make. Not to say that indulgence is bad. So please, if you take away anything, take that away, that what you do with your money is your business. I mean, even as far as spending your grocery money on canvases, you could live under your canvases for all I care. That's your business, not my business. But I did want to talk about that it is different from self-care. And indulging sometimes can lead to self-care in some respects, Indulgence, though, is not inherently bad. It's just problematic if it's used to avoid dealing with deeper issues, or if it starts to negatively impact your well-being. And like, to put it simply, self-care nurtures sustainable health and fulfillment, and indulgence provides momentary relief, but it doesn't often address your underlying needs, if that makes sense. And I, for the longest time, did not know the difference between the two. I thought indulgence was self-care. And as I said, in some cases, it can be temporarily, but it is not dealing with the deeper issues. And that is what I've struggled to get at the heart of pretty much, I don't know, my whole life. It's a struggle. So ways that you can take care of yourself, doing self-care routines that can help your mental well-being would be like having morning and evening kind of rituals, right? These would be, small routines that you have in the morning and evening so that you have a tone of calm and intention. So like that could be getting up and stretching in the morning, journaling in the morning, or a mindful cup of tea or coffee. Like literally practicing mindfulness while having your cup of tea or your cup of coffee in the morning. Pay attention to the steam and what shapes it's creating. Pay attention to the smells and the sounds while you're enjoying that cup of tea or coffee. There's also like your evenings. You could do meditation, or a gratitude journal is a good way, or reading for relaxation. I used to do a lot more reading, and now I find that like sometimes reading can just put me right to sleep. So actually I've found that diamond painting is really good for self-care for me. Is this something that you do for self-care? Like, is that how you got started with diamond painting? Because it definitely works for self-care for me. It does. It's very meditative. It's very deliberate. It's a good way to just be quiet and live in the right now and listen to the sounds and smell the smells and experience the sensations in my body. So that's what I use it for. It is kind of both my morning and my evening routine. Also having some physical exercise. Like I walk a lot and I talk about walking, but any kind of small exercise, like it boosts your endorphins and it will help you in the long term to keep moving and to keep, those juices flowing, as they say, like your energy juices flowing. It's good to do. It's very, very good to do. And then, like digital detoxing, unplugging from screens, getting off social media, work emails for just a short time every day. That allows your mind to kind of reset. And then having creative outlets like diamond painting, drawing, writing, cooking even can be considered a creative outlet. And it can be deeply restorative. And then setting intentions for your day. That is also a good way to practice self-care, because you are setting goals for your future well-being and then sticking to it. It does wonders. It really, really does wonders. And then lastly, a really important part of self-care, in my opinion, is setting boundaries and saying no, and meaning no as a complete sentence. You can really do yourself a disservice if you struggle with saying no. Oftentimes, what we do, because I am one of those people, I have a hard time saying no because I like to avoid conflict, and I'm a people pleaser. And it can really get in the way of my self-care and my ability to take care of my own anxiety and needs, because I'm so busy saying yes to everything else that someone else needs. And without boundaries, we can really get overwhelmed. And it can lead to burnouts and resentments. So setting, geez, I don't want to drop my diamonds. Setting strong boundaries, it's so important to do that, and to remember to say no when you need to say no. And another time, I'll get into the best ways to set boundaries and to mean the word no, and how to practice getting there. Because it takes practice to get there. It took you practice to get to where you are now, where you're saying yes all the time. It takes just as much practice to break that habit, because there is a certain amount of elation that comes with helping another person and feeling seen and recognized. But often what happens is that person maybe pretends to see and recognize us, but what they really see and recognize is the benefit that we can be for them, But prioritize your needs and set boundaries to protect your time and energy. And then be clear and direct about those boundaries. When saying no, keep it simple. I'm sorry, I can't commit to that right now. And then learn to say no without feeling guilt about it. That took me a long time to learn what that meant, because I don't know that I've ever been able to say no without feeling guilt, like I had done something wrong, or that I wasn't being a good friend, or whatever. I blamed myself for everything, when the other party never took responsibility for the drain that they had become on my mental health and well-being, But just remember to take care of yourself. Indulging is, one thing. It's self-care is more than just pampering yourself. It is about nurturing your well-being in a meaningful and sustainable type of way. And by distinguishing between the two, you can make choices that support your long-term happiness and fulfillment. And just, being mindful, finding time for those creative outlets like diamond painting, it can be huge to helping you out and allowing you to shut some of the rest of the world out, and remembering to set those boundaries and to stick to them. And then when possible, a digital detox, even if it's for a couple of hours. Just get that phone out of your face, get the tablet or the computer out of your face, and turn off for a little bit. Read a book, walk in nature, whatever you've got to do, but take good care of yourself, right? Okay, so I've got my tarot cards over here, and I have not shuffled them yet. So I was going to shuffle them up and get those going so that we can do our reading. So let me, look at you with the extreme close-up. I'm going to do it back here a little bit just so that I'm not... Whoa, uh-oh. That one leapt right out. So that's the one that's going on the top. Okay, and then we are using the Fairies Oracle by Brian Frau, the artwork, and then Jessica Macbeth is the one who did the text inside of the book. I'm so excited. Let's see what we got. All right, our thought for the week. Ooh, the Singer of the Chalice. That's beautiful. Number 12. That's one of my lucky numbers, is number 12. The Singer of the Chalice. I will put this right there so you can look at it while I find number 12 in the book. The Singer of the Chalice. Let's see. The Singer of the Chalice. Keywords are trust, joy, patience, creativity, hope, and miracles. All right, let's see. With the help of the Singer of the Chalice and of the fairies, you too can get this one feeling that is all the good feelings in one. Unconditional love, trust, hope, healing, peace, patience, and so on. Open is open. Be open. If you don't know how, ask. It's right there. I think it is so important to be open, being open to the gifts that the world has to give us, you know? And it says, open is open, be open. You know, how does one open themselves to receive the gifts that the world has to give, you know? How do we do it? How do we get there? What steps do we take? It's a profound question, you know? I feel like, you know, we talk about things in terms of what we need, what we want, what we seek, what we feel, me, and about how things are negatively impacting us, how we are suffering, how we just can't seem to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I have a very hard time with people in my life who are victims. This victim mentality that everything bad is happening to me. Why does everything bad always happen to me? They can't see their part in it. They can't understand what they're doing wrong and why the world isn't breaking way for them, and why their friends abandon them, or why people don't want to be around them. You know, a lot of it, they don't realize that it is self-inflicted because they are not open to the possibility that, you know, they might be responsible for their own shit. You know, my mom struggled, I think, with that whole victim mentality until right before she died. We had long talks about how she wasn't a victim, she was a survivor. And those things that happened to her served to make her the person that she became, to teach her kindness, to teach her to be a little less selfish, to accept responsibility, because those things, when she was playing the victim, she didn't know how to do. She just didn't simply know how to do it. And people who sit and play the why God, why me game, they'll never see what they can accomplish or what they can achieve because they're too busy getting in their own way, you know? I think that the first part of being open to receive the gifts of the world, that we have to let go of resistance, whether that's fear or self-doubt or past trauma, and it prevents us from fully embracing what life has to offer. I see it a lot, a whole lot. And what holds us back from accepting the love, kindness, and the beauty the world gives us every day? Why do we feel ourselves so undeserving? And I think some of it is not practicing self-care. I think that, again, either A, we feel like the world is just covering us in crap and we don't deserve it, and why is this happening? And then the rest of us are stuck under a cloud of, I did this X years ago and I'm still paying for it, and I probably still should, and we do not allow ourselves any grace when we make mistakes. And in doing that, we also show those around us, our loved ones, that we're not willing to give them grace either if we can't even show it to ourselves. And then there's this shame associated with whatever bad things we may have done, or with our loved ones. They may feel shame for something bad that they've done, and they don't feel safe to come to you and tell you how much they regret it or whatever. It shuts down that openness, because even alcoholics and addicts and felons, everybody has a story. Now, not everybody is willing to pull their head out of their own ass and ask for help and work toward being a better person. I'm not talking about those people, but the people who are truly making an effort to realign themselves with what they can be and what they should be. We have to remember that if we show ourselves grace to those people, that maybe they'll trust that we would show them grace as well. And it would open us up to some really amazing things, some really amazing experiences if we just open ourselves up to forgiveness. I think that there's also something to be said about practicing gratitude. I get frustrated when, it's been weeks in a row and it's like I see these diamond paintings that I want so badly, and I know I can't afford them, and I get very frustrated because I know this or that person is going to be able to afford them and I can't, and it makes me sad. And then I start getting a feeling like envy, almost jealousy, and I forget to be grateful, and I'm embarrassed of that. I'm embarrassed of that. I have a lot to be grateful for. There are people who are in different shoes than I am, and they would be grateful for what I do have, and here I'm bitching about what I don't have. Make that make sense. I feel like it demonstrates an immaturity that I'm still working through. A lot of that having to do with, like recovering from addiction and your brain not really maturing as you're using. Your brain just kind of allows you to be this brat because you never really learned to do better, but you have to expect better of yourself. Envy isn't pretty on anybody, not anybody. And I just have to stop and remember that I do have a lot. Maybe not a lot. I have enough, and I am enough. And just remembering that I have enough and I am enough, and really believing it too. Not just saying it out loud to say it, but really believing it too. That I'm worthy and I'm worth it, even if I don't feel like it sometimes. But to remember to be grateful for what I do have. And then being vulnerable. You can be open to receive the gifts that the world has to offer by being vulnerable with people and showing them your true human side. And I hope that's what I'm doing in these WIP and chats, that you are getting to know me better, that you are getting to understand me better, that now you might not have the full story on the path that I've taken and how I got to where I am, and why it's 100% a defining moment for me getting sober, but it is also one of hopefully many defining moments on when I can really look at myself in the mirror and to be proud of the person that is looking back at me, and that's grateful and loving and vulnerable and open. And I'm still learning to overcome the I'm not worthy mentality. It takes time. It does. But I think that there's also something to be said for recognizing and understanding, like, the intangible gifts that I have. Like, the world's gifts are not always something that you can see or hear or taste or smell. You hear Beans snoring. He's a gift. He is definitely. You hear him? I'll have to check into that. But he's over there just snoring away. He makes me giggle. He's definitely been a gift. He's an annoying pain in my ass, but he's definitely a gift. It's like raising a baby all over again. It can be fun. It can be a lot, but it can be fun. But, we have to try to take stock and recognize that gifts like peace and wisdom and personal growth are just as valuable as physical or material gifts, if not more so. Because I'm also finding that learning from life's challenges, those are disguised gifts that teach us to be resilient and to be strong and to love and appreciate one another. And we forget about the gifts that those struggles can really give to us. I would encourage you to open yourself up today. Just pay attention to the world around you. Cultivate openness in your everyday life, whether that is through gratitude or vulnerability, or by simply staying present. Just open yourself to life's gifts, and it can lead to more fulfillment and connection and joy. And I hope that you can find that openness, that you can stay open and not close yourself off to others, and not close yourself off to some really fantastic experiences that may be waiting for you out there in the world because of fear or shame or loneliness. But if you need help with how to be open, I'll gladly show you the way and how to get there, But you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you enjoyed the WIP and chat. Leave me a comment down below. How are you going to practice openness this week? Are you being kind to yourself? And wow, that was bacon. Just shook the whole world. Are you being kind to yourself? And are you taking care of yourself? And also, are you being kind to others? Anyway, you guys, thanks again for sticking around. I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world, that you're having a phenomenal morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'll see you again soon, okay? Bye-bye.